today what has happened is I had a whistleblower contact me, who I've spoken to. I've verified this person. They are a real person. They're not a nutter or some conspiracy theorist. People like to say that we're conspiracy theorists. This person is not. They're a real person. They are working in a home. They have given me their full name. They have given me the name of the home. I'm not yet going to release that to you guys publicly because there's a process that we're going through. But that person has agreed that I can read out what they sent me, and I want you all to know that this is the truth of what is happening. So I'm just going to read her email really, and then you can tell me what you think. So she said, "Hi Claire, thank you for the reply. I'm seeing my manager again tomorrow, and I'm telling her that this will be my last complaint before going to the CQC, which is the Care Quality Commission. But again, I'm not sure how responsive they will be. They don't seem to care. I'm worried that it's my word against all the GPs, the district nurses and the other carers. What I have to say is that they have put all our residents on do not resuscitate orders, and all of these residents with variable or lack of capacity are on anticipatory care pathways, which means that they are not allowed to go to hospital for any treatment for anything, and they aren't to receive any antibiotics for anything whatsoever, whatever illness they've got. Since this pandemic, in inverted commas, started, we haven't had a single GP visit the patients at our home. Whenever anyone gets ill, and this is ill not related to COVID because we haven't got it in my care home, they automatically put them on end of life. This is now what really gets me, and nil by mouth. And they discontinue all their medication because they say they're at risk of aspiration, which is ridiculous. Which is ridiculous. Because if they eat, drink or have medication, there is a small chance that they could aspirate. But if they're nil by mouth, then they will die from dehydration and starvation. Myself and another carer on nights have had to resort to buying jars of pureed baby food and feeding the residents and giving them drinks after making them aware of the risk of aspiration and getting their consent just so that they can have food and drink. Sorry. Along with this, the GPs are remotely prescribing end-of-life medication, which is morphine and midazolam injections, and these are being misused. All our clients have had their usual medication taken away, which is regular pain relief such as paracetamol and codeine, and all their anxiety, antidepressant and antipsychotic medication, which a lot of our clients are on. The district nurses then come into the home to give end-of-life drugs because with the withdrawal of usual medication, the resident is showing signs of pain and anxiety, which of course they would. The morphine should only be used for extreme pain when nothing else helps, and this knocks the individuals out, and especially when they're not eating and drinking and losing weight. This means it's even harder to get any fluids in them. The midazolam is given at end of life for sedation and terminal restlessness and agitation. However, this suppresses the individual's breathing and quickens along their death. No other alternatives of pain relief are given. There's no pain patches, no liquid paracetamol. They just put them straight onto the hard stuff, which once started is only a matter of days before that resident passes away. However, this has all been okayed by the doctors and the nurses. And as the need for analgesia is subjective, I don't know how much evidence I can find or even if I will be believed. But I have collected evidence of fluid charts. I've worked in this home for over 2 years, and I have never seen anything like this when it comes to end of life and just writing people off. I believe it's a human right to have right to life, and they are committing euthanasia. So much for them protecting the vulnerable. So I've had to phone up this person and speak to them and say to them, that I think that they're really brave for trusting me to tell me the story. I absolutely wanted to go to the police straight away. I was going to get in my car and drive to where the home is and go and get the police, but I don't even trust that they will do anything. I feel so powerless to get anybody to look at this, and I've had to tell this person, don't go to the CQC. If you do, they will bury it. They will cover up the evidence, and you will lose your job, and there will be nobody going in and feeding these people with the pureed baby food that you are feeding them to keep them alive. And just in case anybody thinks that this is normal and what you do to people on an end-of-life pathway, it is not. The Liverpool pathway was disbanded, and I think it was in 2014, because it might even have been before then. And yes, you have a right to refuse life-sustaining treatment, but that has to come from you. And if you can't consent to that because you haven't got capacity, then that has to be made at a best interest meeting, and that decision has to be documented, and it has to be taken in appropriate ways, which I know isn't being done. And even then, you are not allowed to take away somebody's hydration and somebody's pain medication. You are not allowed to. That is illegal. That is wrong. And these doctors and these nurses and these care home staff that are just doing it and aren't speaking out are nothing more than complicit to killing people, to murdering people.